Welcome back to Ferris Sports Update. Time to check in with Bulldog Tennis, joined by head coach Mark Doren. And Coach, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Rob.
Obviously, great to have you back on. I know last week you were coming off a huge win on the men's side over Wayne State and kind of able to keep that momentum going here this past weekend at home.
Yeah, it was, I mentioned to you in an email that it was one of those weeks you get nervous about having a huge win and then having a little bit of a letdown. And it was the complete opposite. Both teams really came out playing great tennis, and the men really kept the rhythm going and had a really good weekend.
How nice was it to be back at home after that win at home over Wayne State, able to kind of continue playing at home and not have to go on the road here for the next couple matches?
Yeah, it is nice. I mean, obviously having our own indoor facility is such an advantage, and we get used to playing there, and it's a little quicker service than a lot of places we play. So be able to, continue the rhythm of playing on our courts and at home with, our crowds have been fantastic, and that's been a big help. I think the love that we're getting from some of the students on campus and other coaches, other players, has really made the players feel special, and I think that makes us play better.
Obviously, the men off to a great start, 11-3 and undefeated in the GLIAC and ranked among the top teams in the country. I know as you go into these matches, you got to be expecting to get everyone's kind of best shot on the opposite side.
Yeah, I mean, when you play well, you get that target on your back, and we've been playing well for the last couple of years, and I think this year's we've done a little bit better nationally when we went down to Florida, and we came back and knowing that people would be gunning for us, and I think that the players on both teams, especially the men's team, has really accepted that challenge, and know what they're going to get, and been able to stay mentally strong throughout a match. We go on the court. Typical singles match is probably an hour and a half to 2 hours long just by themselves out on court. And they know that everyone's just going to kind of play like they have nothing to lose against us. And I think that this weekend was one of those. Both Purdue Northwest and Davenport are solid teams. And they have some really experienced players. And they came at us. And we went in waves of struggling a little bit. And how we rebounded from that was very impressive.
Obviously, you got a couple big wins, 6-1 over Purdue Northwest, 7-0 over Davenport, and 2 wins that kind of keep the momentum going here in the GLIAC.
Yeah, and I think that I always mention to you how it starts in doubles, but this year, I mean, our singles has just been playing outstanding tennis, and this weekend I completely changed the lineup from the first 11 matches of the year. I moved around some guys just to get some experience. We had a freshman playing one singles all year, and typically I try to shy away from that, but he had just been dominating, in practice and doing really well, but he hit a little bit of a skid as far as winning. And we knew that he needed to get that winning sensation again, so we moved him to 2 singles, and he just played fantastic tennis. And we had a junior, Jan Kupel, step up and play 1 singles and kind of just understand his role of stepping in and trying to get a win for the team, but also help Eric, get some experience and get some more wins. And even Jan had a win this weekend, so it was really good tennis.
Obviously, you mentioned it right there, kind of a nice mix between some younger guys that have a lot of talent, and you've got some older guys that have kind of been around and kind of been through some of these championship runs.
Yeah, I mean, having the upperclassmen, kind of take the freshmen under their wing, and it's almost every other court, which is nice. When you're out on the court, although you're an individual on the court, you're playing for your team, but when you have somebody next to you that's a senior or a junior next to a freshman, they can kind of notice that they're a little down or struggling and mention to them or just hype them up. And so my upperclassmen have been a huge bonus this year as far as just their leadership on court, off court, and just the support.
Kind of flipping the page now to the women's side, and obviously the women, tough loss against Purdue Northwest, but really came back and played some great tennis in a win over Davenport.
Yeah, it was exciting. We played better than we've played the last couple of weeks against Purdue Northwest. Just didn't squeak out a few close matches. But I think that playing better, and we left that match with some confidence, and I think that kind of rolled over into our match on Saturday. And Davenport is a team that's already beat a couple teams that we've lost to. So I think that getting that win over Davenport just kind of got the ladies back on track. They had believed that they could win, but until you have that feeling, and when you're in a bit of a losing streak, it's hard to really feel it. And so I think it came at the right time. Big match coming up this week, so I think it was important for them to get the win Saturday and get back on track.
Obviously, a lot of these matches here, you see it come down to a third set, and could go either way based on a point here or there.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those sports. It's tough. I mean, when you're out on the court by yourself, and like you said, it comes down to it might be 3-3 and one person left on court with both teams, standing there, the whole crowd watching, just you perform. And you know, it happened a couple times this weekend with just one person left on court, and I was super impressed with the way that we just kind of still competed and still fought for every point and didn't let the pressure of being out there alone, consume them. And I think that that's just a testament to how hard they've been working.
Obviously, this week, a big match on the road as both teams travel down to Grand Valley State on Saturday.
Yeah, it's going to be a great week of tennis for us. It's Saturday. Looks like the weather will be good enough to be outdoors. And, yeah, we went down to Florida and played outdoors, but that was in 90-degree weather. And so today we've been practicing outside already this morning, and it's 42 degrees when we first hit our first ball. And for tennis, that's pretty chilly. But we're playing a team in Grand Valley that has a lot of clay court type players, South American or Spanish players that are used to outdoor tennis. And I recruit for indoors because 95% of our matches are indoors. So it's a test for us. But I think going down to Florida and getting some of that outdoor tennis in has prepared us. And I think that we're ready for it. And just from today's first practice with the ladies this morning, I was super impressed with just how hard they went after it and really understood that they have to have a little bit better footwork, a little more focus on endurance when we're outdoors. Points will last a little bit longer. And I think that today they had that focus.
I think it's kind of hard to believe 3 regular season matches kind of remaining before you get into the GLIAC tournament and postseason play.
Yeah, I constantly, I'm just reminding, the student athletes on the team that the season flies by. And it's the end of the school year too, so there's just so much on their plate with school, exams coming up, what happens in the summer, their summer jobs, preparing for that stuff. So we try to stay super focused and super relevant of what's happening. And I think this year's been impressive of the way that they've been able to handle all the stuff that's on their plate and still all of a sudden realize that there's only 3 matches left and only 3 more moments to be with their team and compete before the championships start. And I think that they've done a really good job of maintaining all the different things that are going on.
Who have been kind of some of the leaders maybe for both teams in terms of some of those veterans that have kind of led the way for your teams this year?
Yeah, I would say on the men's team, Yannick Mader just has been working his butt off the whole year, working with some personal goals of his own. And I think his hard work has shown as far as the work goes. On the social side, Jan and Ben have really stepped up and just become leaders. And I told Ben the other day when I recruited him, I knew he was going to be a hard worker. But I didn't know that he would have this real captain-like leadership in him. And he's really been clutch on the court, but off the court as far as making the players enjoy the season and have the fun that comes with it, and that's helped him. That's helped him loosen up. And then on the women's side, it's nice because we have leaders from some upperclassmen and then some of our underclassmen. A sophomore, Parker Nolan, has really stepped up as kind of our team energy. If you come to a match, she's the one that's screaming after every point, yelling to the whole team the whole time, and she's been really important. And then Morgan Waller has stepped up as a senior with kind of just the support. She's kind of taken a lot of the freshmen under her wing as far as being that mother hen of the team, that kind of a person they can go to for any issues they're having, whether it's on or off court, and that's what makes a team a team.
Well, Coach, thanks for the time, and best of luck as you travel down to Grand Valley this weekend.
Yeah, thanks, Bob.
We'll be back with more Ferris Sports Update right after this.